Ow! Oh, why? Hey, Bucks of Paint, hi! Hello! I went to grab my sketchbook and my nail decided to bend backwards. For no reason. Just pain. I'm trying to see what I have to draw next, because I have a small list of projects, but I can't find it. Oh, I really don't have that many left to do. Huh. Actually, it's one of the reasons I paint my nails, but it doesn't always work. Yeah, I mean, I don't even keep them long. Like, there's absolutely no reason why it should have bent backward. And they're not wet either. Like, if I had just done the dishes or something. No, the only goal was to cause pain. So, how are you? How's your weekend so far? Over here it's really nice. Like yesterday it was raining an absurd amount of water. Like there were some flooding problems in quite a few places. But today it's really nice and windy and cool. Not like a bajillion degrees like last week. Those are colors to welcome in the autumn. Oh yeah, I agree. Those are actually colors from the paints that I made myself. It's for an upcoming video at some point. It's 23 today and it got sunny in the late afternoon. The cats got to sunbathe for a bit. Well, oh, that sounds lovely. Went to see Mom and Lot and she was in great spirits. Yeah, I was about to ask, how is she doing? How burning hot does Bear get in the sun? Emmy is sufficiently like a sufficient white surface area that she mustn't get that hot, at least for the white bits of her coat. Otto! Hey, hello! How are you today? The switches are my handmade paints. Some of them at least. A bear gets very toasty indeed. I couldn't deal with all that fluff in the sunshine, but he does just fine. Yeah, I don't know how cats do it. But then again, it depends on the cat. I can tell you that Shiro really doesn't enjoy being in the sun. She doesn't sunbathe. She will move away from the sun, which is really odd. But whenever she gets in the sun for like 2 seconds, the dark area of her coat, so the top of her head and her tail, gets super hot instantly. So maybe that's why she doesn't like it. Like, I can't imagine enjoying having a really, really warm hat on my head. And I mean, it's good because she's a mostly white kitty, so she has the more sensitive skin. And outdoorsy cat, they don't wear sunscreen, so it can cause problem for them in the long run. Amy lays in the sun but covers her face. Oh, I need to get her some shades. That would be so cute. Oh, I wish cats would tolerate having stuff on their face better. I got Shiro her shade box out, and she's catnapping in it right now. When it's too hot, she doesn't like the box either because the box is still in the sun, so it gets really warm. When it's that hot, they go to sleep in the hedges. So I get like 3 cats in hedges, which is kind of funny. We've been good, but just realized we're in H2. What's H2? Second half? Like Q1, 2, 3, 4, that's for the quarter of the year, I think. And I've been really taking a break this year and trying to narrow down some choices. What are your options? That's it. Sorry, business brain wasn't. That's fine. That's fine. It's logical enough that it makes sense, you know. It's not one of those things that you're like, okay, but what? have a herbal tea. It's sufficiently decent outside that I can enjoy hot beverages. I was a bit unsure about this one because it has hibiscus in it, and yeah, it's some really strong hibiscus. Why did they put hibiscus in everything? It's such an overpowering taste. The rest of it, like the berry flavor that's the rest of this herbal tea is really nice, but it's completely obliterated by the freaking hibiscus. Christmas market in Stockholm, Oktoberfest in Germany, museums in Netherlands. Wow. We're a bit all over the place and can decide to do something we've done before. Oh, dude. That's like the most interesting sort of vacationing perk of living in Europe in general. Like, everything is so easily accessible. I love hibiscus, but agree it's flavored. Yeah, and I think with hibiscus, it doesn't punch everyone's I'm looking for a word and I can't find it, but like I don't think everyone experiences the taste of hibiscus in the same way. I think for some people, like the bitterness is not as strong. You know, like how people would say cilantro tastes like soap. When I eat cilantro, it doesn't taste like soap at all, but like we've rambled about the taste genes kind of stuff. And I feel like hibiscus is one of those too, because a lot of people really enjoy hibiscus, and I'm like, how? How? There's gotta be something. I vote for museums in the Netherlands. I'm not a big museum person. Or, I mean, I guess it depends on the museum too. Hibiscus is very sour with no sweetener and really dark berry flavor with sweetener to me. To me, it's not sour, it's just bitter. But there's... Okay, cat museum is a different story. It's just that sometimes I feel like museum exhibits, some of them, not all of them, but some of them, at some point you get sort of saturated with info. And it doesn't imbibe anymore. So if it wasn't in a museum setting, that's the moment where I would take a break and finish the rest of it, like, later or the next day. But you can't really do that as much with an actual physical museum. Maybe if you have a pass that allows you to go in and out as you wish, but we weren't sure what to expect when we went to the cat museum, but it was a nice afternoon and got our pet the cat fix. Pet the cat fix while away from home. Yeah, you need to narrow down what you're interested in rather than try to see it all. I know I really enjoy, I have limited experience of course, but I really enjoy just going to a place that's like interesting, that has history, and just walking there without without much of a plan aside from that. That's what I tend to do when I go to Quebec City, and I used to do that every year with my mom. But we would go to the old Quebec City part, the part that's been there since the inception of Quebec, and it's very 17th century French kind of look, if I'm not mistaken. Quebec says Mrs. Saint. Yeah, I think so. Guillaume. Québec, ça a été fondé en 1608, hein?
Parce que, ouais.
1608. Yeah, Quebec was founded in 1608. So the very old part of Quebec City has some really interesting architecture. It's always jam-packed with tourists, so that's possibly the issue. But yeah, just like walking down there and looking at things and popping in some place that looks interesting. I kind of did the same when I went to Switzerland and Saint-Malo. Have you been to Kröller-Müller Museum in Otterlo? Not far from Amsterdam, on the train, second largest collection of Van Gogh. And it's in a national park. Ooh! Oh, that's nice. In Amsterdam, it's so easy to wander and get lost, but also still have the ability to get back where you started. Yeah, that sounds like my kind of party. But that's possibly because, I mean, maybe if I lived in a beautiful city like Edinburgh, there would be a lot less appeal to just wandering a beautiful place. In Amsterdam, it's so easy. Yeah, in an art museum, I walk right past all the religious work because I'm just not interested in them. I had to go through art history classes, and you kind of have to go through like the religious paintings, and I think there's quite a lot of interesting stuff with them, not in the topic per se, but in the way the artists interpreted some elements, because some religious paintings have some odd stuff going on, like things flying in the sky, and sometimes like the fact that there's a flower in a weird place means something. So I feel like that aspect of it is interesting, but just the religious bit is really not what's interesting here. We haven't put it on the list last time. We got one of those on Projector Everywhere shows. Those Dali art to Pink Floyd. Ooh, that sounds like excessively trippy. My mom would spend like 10 minutes in front of every... No. Sorry. No. Hey, Chris! Hello! Long time no see. How have you been? You know, the 10 minutes in front of every painting, you know what that makes me think of? When we were doing life drawing, like a model shows up and you draw them. The way it's structured is it's oftentimes it will be like warm up, so a few really brief poses that you sketch really quickly just to get things rolling. And by the end of the session, there's often the longer lasting poses, like the 15, 20, half an hour. And I would always hate those. It was just not my jam. So, I mean, you're free to do whatever you want. So, if you don't really feel like drawing the pose for 20 minutes, what I would do is I would, like, let's say, like, do the pose in like 5 minutes, or start again if the first one is too ugly. And then, with any time left, I would do like sort of studies, like, oh, the hand, the foot, the face, like a shoulder, any kind of part that is particularly interesting. I would do like studies of those. But oh man, doing a full 30 minutes drawing a single pose, that's not exactly how my brain likes to do things. Like, I feel like to really enjoy a pose that lasts for 30 minutes, you have to be sufficiently good that when you lay down, the base structure of the pose, it's not a freaking mess. So that when you move on to refining the pose, you don't come across all those mistakes that just annoy you and make you want to start over. Anyway, rambles. Oh, that hibiscus. It's this one, if why would anybody be curious, but the packaging is so pretty. I love clipper packaging. But it has so much. No, I have to drink it. I don't want to waste it. But it's sort of, I need to remember that it's strongly hibiscusy. So that way, it's not gonna surprise me every single time. It's because I forget and then I drink it. Like, it doesn't smell, like, hibiscus doesn't really have a scent. So when I go to drink it, when I smell it, it's mostly the berries. I'm like, oh, berry, and then I drink it and I forget that it's hibiscus, and it's like punch in my face. What about Vienna? Ooh. Okay, so I have a question. Otto, you've been to Vienna, have you? Okay, it's one of your favorite cities to visit. Oh, wow. Okay, so I have a question. I'm gonna try to lay down the context of it in a succinct, in a, simple and efficient way. But in French, pastries are often called viennoiserie. And in viennoiserie, you have viennois, and viennois means from Vienna in French. And I was like, okay, are there a lot of pastries in Vienna? It's basically my stupid question of the day. Sorry. That's such a stupid question. Hibiscus, that's funny. Oh my god, they have the best bakeries in the world. Oh, they do! Wow, so it actually has some sort of relation. Oh, that's amazing. I mean, Vienna, Viennese cafes are full of amazing pastry. I mean, most places, most legit good cafes have, you know, decent snacks, but I always thought it was funny that we call it viennoiserie, you know, instead of, I don't know what else we could call it. It's kind of weird because in English you have pastries and that describes the items, like that's basically this category of food. But I don't know if in French we have pâtisserie, but it's more of a type of food, not in the same way. Like I feel like we often use pâtisserie for the places that make pastries. Does that make sense? Whereas in English it seems that it's bakeries and then bakeries have pastries. Hibiscus. Is it hibiscus or hibiscus when you say the plant? Oh, by the way, the flower, like I've spotted a few hibiscus plants in the area, and the flowers are so pretty right now. There's a cheap bakery chain called Struck. Does the most amazing bacon and cheese wrapped bread thing. Roll me from shop to shop, and then hubby can carry me through the museum in partial food coma. Alright, finished the tea. I wonder if hibiscus is like cranberry in terms of like medicinal properties. This will be my 20th birthday in the UK, and for most of those I have requested pâtisserie for my cake. It's still not... What? Wait, hold on. So you wanted like a bunch of pastries instead of a cake? Like your own tea party, in a way. And it hasn't happened in 20 years? That's puzzling. They're cute. I want pastries pouring out of boxes so I can have a cornucopia of pastries. I'm sure we can all crowdfund your dream. Yeah, definitely. Can you imagine, like, if teleportation was a thing, or if not humans, at least objects, each of us could send to Box the quintessential pastry thing from their own area, and he would get like this hodgepodge of fancy pastries from all over the world. What's gingerbread tablet? Is it like the kind of white fudge thingy, but with gingerbread spices in it? Or is it something else? For me, in my current area, that's a Circle K donut. What is that? You would all be welcome at my pastry party. That's it. Butter, cream, salt, and ginger. Well, you need some sugar in there, don't you? Because otherwise that's just like flavored soft butter. Patisserie party. A patisserie? Sugar, of course. Okay. That's it. Butter, cream, sugar. Yeah, it's basically what we call sucre à la crème here. It's not a very difficult recipe. The key element is to have, especially if it's the first time doing it, is to have a candy thermometer. I would send you, I guess you would call it maple tablet, but it's basically like maple sucre à la crème, which is basically just boiling maple with butter in it until it reaches a certain temperature, and then you whip it, and then you cool it, and there you go. So it's like excessively concentrated maple syrup. Circle K is an often skeevy. Oh no. Oh, that doesn't sound great. I've bought it several years in a row to give as gifts, and it's never made it to a single person. You know it's good. I get so excited and then remember how hard it is to stock up on, and go slightly insane and wake up with the sugar high and empty boxes. Oh no. Oh, I'm crying. I'm laughing too hard. Stretching. Ooh, fresh farm eggs. It's funny how good eggs really make a difference, and how much we've lost sight of good basics like good eggs, good butter. I'm not even a big butter person, but yeah, like whenever I get butter nowadays, it's have to be like I have to make an effort to choose my butter well, so it's not like cheesy. You know, when butter kind of smells like cheese, that's not good. That's not something you want from your butter. I'm pretty sure if you did something while not conscious of doing so, it's a bona fide legal defense. Your Honor, I wasn't conscious of what I was doing. Hey, Ginger! Hello! Yeah, good butter. It's, I don't know, too often have I ended up with butter that was a bit too close to, I don't know how. How do you get butter to go cheesy? It's just nasty. Ugh. I need to figure out... Sorry, we've been talking a lot about sugar and butter, so I'm a bit energized. Auto powered up by sugar and fat. I mean, understandably, like, this is not a criticism. This is a full endorsement. Today we are doodling more cat thingies. So I have one doodle, but I need to figure out another idea because the other doodle that I had figured out, I need to do it on a full spread. And this is the page I have set up is not a full spread, so I need to figure out an extra drawing. I might be more paw than jaw. This house is in chaos. Oh. Is it cleanup time today? Dude, if you want to get some motivation for cleaning up, watch a few episodes of Hoarders. Seriously. It's kind of shocking. Also, I found a YouTube channel of an organizer lady that I really enjoy. So that's always something that gets my brain rolling on how to sort stuff out. Alright, so I need... We're traveling this weekend. I need to get all the cat stuff in order and a little easier for our friend. I already pre-packed their med stuff with tipper. Oh, that's a good idea. Declutter, declutter, declutter. Yeah, it's really interesting to have a an approach that is not like when Marie Kondo was doing her thing, like that was everywhere, and I don't think this method works for everyone. So it's kind of interesting to see different approaches to sorting out stuff, because sometimes you feel stuck and then you see something and you're like, oh, okay, that works for me, that I can do, and it's the kick in the butt to get things rolling. Sorry. I've spent literally weeks trying to find my Roman Schmal palette because I was excited to add Lee's collection to it. Turn the house upside down. Turns out I had preemptively put them on my desk, so when they arrived it was that turned out well. That worked. But also elf stuff, so it's churn up, churn. That's fine. That's really fine. Oh, okay, Chris. Get that planner done and good to go. I was so angry and pleased with myself at the same time. What's this person's approach? They try to... wait, I can never remember the proper name of it. I know I wrote it down. I think she calls it quick wins. And it's basically to get momentum. You start by doing things... Yeah, quick win. You start by doing things that you know you can accomplish. Like smaller tasks. And then once you have that momentum, you can move on to other tasks. Or if you notice that you're working on something and you're losing that momentum and you're getting discouraged, you shift, you pivot to something that would count as a quick win. I'm trying to find an example of what would be a quick win. But it might be similar to, when you say you have your basket of random things, like that might, depending on the basket and the content, that might be a quick win, because if you can sort out this basket, that's the thing you can say, yay, I finished this, that's done. So that gives you energy to move on to something else. And also she advocates for doing things in stages. Like you do a first pass, let's say, of your clothing, and then you live with these clothes for a bit, and then you see what you wear, what you don't wear, the clothes you don't enjoy, those you do enjoy. So then you feel ready for a second pass of decluttering and discarding the things you don't like there. It's just a much more kind of personal approach and very respectful approach too. And it makes a lot of sense, like about putting in the same area all the things that relate to the same thing. So like if you have tools, well, you put the tools, all the home stuff, like tools, spare bulbs, extension cables, like all that stuff together. So when you look for something or when you need to store something, it's like it's an area. It's kind of easier to keep things tidy if everything has its own place in a way. Like this is a place for this stuff, so if I have this stuff, I put it there. Does that make sense? It has been such a relief to learn that I'm not the only humans that thinks I need to clean X room and then proceed to take everything out of every drawer and that's kind of a nice way. Also, the person that I'm talking about, when you're like sorting through things, you make like different piles. So again, let's say if it's clothing, where you have a pile that's the donate, you have a pile that's the recycle for the fabric recycling. Then you have a pile that's trash, and then you have a pile that's maybe, and a pile that's keep, and a pile that's, I need to try these. So having these piles of various things gives you the space to really sort everything you have, at least for a first pass. And once that first sorting is done, it's much easier to tackle each section of things rather than going at it like in one go for this, like I'm doing now and I don't do it after, like it's gonna be done after this. Well, it's kind of easier to process doing it in stages, I feel. The thing with pulling out everything out at once, there's one issue with that though, is that if you run out of energy midway through, you have this whole mess around you. So that's kind of a problem a bit with this. But pulling out a category of things, that might be doable, but like, I don't know, I feel like emptying out the whole place might be very difficult, because if you don't have the energy to sort everything, or the space, perhaps if you have some space that you can put the stuff, that's fine. But if it stays in the way and you run out of energy, and it just feels a bit overwhelming, I feel like. I need to figure out this. I don't know if everyone cares about Mercury retrogrades, but it's supposed to be a great time to declutter and edit out things. Oh, really? Huh. Yeah, sometimes it's more successful to say, okay, let's do this for exactly 10 minutes instead of a whole... Yeah. I think if I had, this is not the case and probably never will, but if I had enough space, I would love to try emptying out a place over multiple days, of course, but to do it so that you have specific areas for things. And as you go through everything you have, you sort things out accordingly, like to make this great big pile that's just clothing. And you start with the obvious stuff, like what's in the wardrobe, what's in the dresser. But then as you keep cleaning up, you find the coats. No, but I mean, I can't. I don't have the space for it. Like, I wouldn't feel overwhelmed if I had space, like a lot of space, so that I can, a bit like what they do in the hoarder shows. Like, they have tarps. They put tarps on the ground, and like this tarp is clothing. So they make a huge freaking pile of clothing on it. And then the tarp next to it, that's kitchen stuff. So all the kitchen stuff goes there. And I would just love to have a view of everything, every category of things and how much there is of each. I feel like that might be helpful after, if you get to the point where you want to pare down some stuff. Like if you realize that you have two of everything in the kitchen, well, that's something that you can figure out by seeing it like in a huge pile. But I mean, it would not happen. This is not the kind of situation with the space and the resources to make that. But I'd be really curious to see like everything grouped together, like all the books together on a tarp, and just to have it in front of you, just how many or how few of a thing there is, you know. Also, balancing this cat food stuff is all together and easily accessible, but also still dexterous. Hey, Charlotte, hi! I am decluttering. Perhaps we all like instinctively picked up on the Mercury retrograde thing. Huh. I did a lot of decluttering last week too. don't need decluttering right now so much as things being put away, and also all of the cat medical care stuff not needing. Yeah. In the case of the show hoarders, when they do the big tarps, it's because they are clearing out. They need to make space in the house to clean it and fix it, and then to be able to bring back in the stuff that the person will keep. Ideally, a lot less stuff that what comes out. But yeah, the way they do it, since it's a big team, they set up these areas where they can nearby. Like if the person has a big lawn, they can set up big blue tarps on the ground, and it's, yeah, this tarp is all the books. So all the books, as they empty out the house, some people like go in the house, put stuff into boxes, bring the boxes out, and people outside sort the boxes and, you know, put all this stuff in the appropriate category. And then when everything is sorted out, the owner of the place can go through their belongings and try to make decisions about this stuff. But I find it really interesting. I think it would be fascinating to see, like to have an empty place and to have all this stuff outside and to see how much of everything there is, and trying to decide what you really want to keep and bring back inside, you know. Hypothetically, like, this is a really special cases that requires a lot of resources and a lot of manpower, but it's still interesting in terms of sort of mental exercise. And also, I like it because it kind of makes it more present in my mind to try to group things together when I do a bit of decluttering. Like, if I'm sorting out some things, I'll find, like, oh, I find a random tube of paint here. Well, I'm gonna go put it with the other tubes of paint, you know, and to progressively make everything more cohesive. I'm always reminded of the Radiohead song, Everything in Its Right Place. And it kind of makes a lot of sense. My studio is basically a big game of Tetris played with all the furniture that no longer had a place. And I managed to fill every nook and cranny. As long as you still have place to, you know, walk around and create. That's the most important thing. I have watched that TV program. Yeah, Hoarders. It's 50% terrifying and mesmerizing. There are some episodes that I just cannot watch. There are elements of it that go a bit too far in some directions that I can't. But I don't know. I still find it fascinating just to have a glimpse into the mindset of someone who eventually ends up with a hoard. And there's quite a few relatable things in there that I had not realized about the way I think about stuff and the way like I've been raised regarding stuff, and it was just kind of very informative too at the same time. But yeah, it will make you want to clean up like nothing else will. Oh my gosh. 26,475,482 times. You have OCD. You must have a house like a hospital ward. Have you heard of one? Yeah, that's. This was not the disgusting bit. Yeah, just too much stuff. That's fine. Those are the fun episodes to watch. I feel like, because the people who end up in those situations, like when they talk about their stuff, they will say, "Oh, I'm a collector. These are my collections," and it's juxtaposed with said collections being completely worth. Most of the time, they're worth nothing because they're not well maintained and they're not kept together, and there is no care that is put towards the condition of the collection. Collectors love and take care of their collections. Yeah, but hoarders still feel like they are collectors. That's where they come from. They come from this mindset of having a collection. But it's a mental illness. It's a mental illness. So somewhere along the way, there is some trauma that makes it so they can't keep good care of the collection. It's a super slippery slope, yeah. I'm getting better at not keeping a piece of paper from a thing that reminds. Yeah, exactly. And now there's a few things that can help. Like, since we all have cameras on our phones, well, if you stumble upon a piece of paper, like this stupid wrapper, like I like these, I like the look of these, but what am I gonna do with this? But I can take a picture of it, and then discard, the piece of paper. But as someone who suffers greatly with out of sight, out of mind, I need these things to remember. Yeah, I need to send you the organizer lady that I found. Perhaps her stuff will resonate with you, because she worked with a lady that was having a lot of issues with out of sight, out of mind. And it was really interesting to see them work progressively together over multiple sessions. People also often forget hoarding is considered a mental disorder. Yeah, we use the term loosely, but a clinical hoarder will feel seemingly life-threatening anxiety at the thought of throwing out trash. Yeah, it's really weird from an outside point of view, but their distress in the moment seems really, really genuine. Just need to be more selective and find better ways to keep those memories, like scanning card or taking photos of them too. Like you do a big photo session, you set up like whatever lamps you have around, you put a backdrop that you like, and you just take a bunch of photos. But yeah, it's not, it's definitely something that is difficult to manage. And like if you're someone that doesn't have a very good memory, or it's a gymnastic. The good side of object permanence is that, as scary a thought as it is, you tend to be way more okay after. Yeah, because you don't see them anymore. Yeah, that's helpful in that case. But yeah, the distress of people when you tell them to get rid of a rusted out piece of machinery, and they go like, no, 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 I can use this, and it's still good. Or they will go, it's brand new, but it's all rusted through. Like, there is something there that does not quite connects with the reality of the situation. And oftentimes, a lot of these people are really creative people, they are idea people, and that's kind of why they end up hoarding so much, is that they have so many projects. They want to fix things, they want to build things, they want to create things, they want to put things together, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to create so and so for someone, fix that other thing, and it just piles up, and they never get around to doing the things. But that's part of the problem. Like, there's some sort of anxiety there's some sort of trauma or like issues that prevents them from flashback to all those yeah, a bit. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a horde of cross-stitch projects. The thing I've done with mementos, not worth physically occupying space, is take really good photos with really big intentions of buying a digital photo frame for them to keep memories. Yeah, or you know, if you are very worried about the permanence of these photos, like you take a photo, and a good photo, and you buy a memory card, or you back it up on a cloud somewhere, or a hard disk drive, like, so it's safe. You have this folder that's called memories, and all your photos of memory things or mementos or whatnot, they go in there. So I feel like that's kind of a reassuring concept, instead of having things like spread out and all over the place. How do you cope with over? I don't know. Yeah, I don't even have one on the go at the moment, so I know I'm not a problem for that right now, but I mean, I have many quilt tops that I haven't touched in a while because it was difficult, it was hot, it was way too hot, and I kind of just feel a bit stressed when I see them, because I'm like, I need to get to that. And like, I had to do a lot of decluttering this week because we had some issues with Peko that required us cleaning up some space and setting up a second litter box for her. So I had to move stuff around and make space for stuff that I wanted to keep, and then toss the stuff that didn't fit anywhere that I could get rid of. But yeah, as a result of that, I put all of my sewing supplies together and I looked at them and I was like, oh, that's a lot. That's quite a substantial amount. Okay, I'm good. You know, when everything is sort of spread apart, you can lose track of things, and a lot of times, like, people who end up with massive hoards, they will buy duplicates or triplicates of things because they cannot get to the one thing. They know they have it somewhere, but they can't find it. So they buy a new one, and then that new one ends up in the pile because you don't use it right away, because I know something happens. So then you lose sight of that one too, so you buy a third one, you know. It makes no sense, but I don't think that's something they do on purpose. I think that's just trying to deal as best as possible with a really weird situation in your head. I'm sorry, Otto. I definitely do not think you have any hoarder tendency, Otto. You're one of the tidiest person I know. So, but I mean, I know my dad. I know people like that. For me, some of those things were stuff I could relate to real life examples of things that I've seen. So it was really interesting to get this perspective on it, like how it can get if it gets really bad. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's difficult. Don't ask me how many bugs cutter we have. There are also cases of just yeah, exactly. That's why I feel like having places like stations for things. Like I know that I try really hard when I use my scissor, I try to put them back in their spot. And I'm not always successful, but it's a conscious effort to manage things so I don't lose sight of something and I'm more easily able to get to it and use it. My grandma and dad were shopaholics, and mom is a hoarder. Ugh, yeah. But yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like my grandma was also a bit of a hoarder, a very, 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 very clean hoard, mind you, of mostly clothing. But I think what my grandma and your grandma have in common is that they went through some really difficult life altering events in their lives, and they went through periods of having nothing. So when you get into a setting of having access to things again and things being affordable, I can see why the brain is like, oh, you need to, have a stash just to be safe. Like, what if it happened once? It can happen again. Like, the makes sense. It's not necessarily the best thing, but it makes sense. Also, ADHD is real, and absent-mindedly leaving the scissors in the fridge was not. Yep. Abby had an uphill battle with my in-law today because she was hell-bent on buying an overlocker. She doesn't even have a sewing machine. I mean, you don't need a sewing machine to use an overlock, but what do you need? Why do you need the overlock? Like, what do you plan on doing with it so much to justify the expense? A great phrase that's really helped me is don't put it down, put it away. It was really hard to stick to it at the beginning though. It wasn't. Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to make that part of the process eventually. She totally would, but she has no projects even in mind for one. She just decided that she wants one. She thought about making some clothes, she said. Not since I've been here. Does she watch a lot of online like videos and content? Because sometimes you can stumble upon a tutorial and it kind of gives you the bug for something. And it's kind of really hard to get rid of those brain bugs. Not actual bugs, but the temporary obsession for anything you saw is real. She's been making my Christmas stockings since 2004. QVC. Wait, what? I think they make her think she wants her neat stuff, she doesn't. It's about halfway done. QVC is like crack to older women. Oh, it's a TV show. Yeah, okay. Mama Snaps is a shopaholic. Says Hunter Edition. How often does she goes thrifting? She always got a sewing project on the go, but think only a few have been completed in my time here. Christchurch. Yeah. They sell you fake creativity. Oh look, if you buy this kit, then all you have to do is stick things and you're a professional card maker. And yeah, I don't know if it's the case, but do you think that in this situation the appeal is like you're being sold on completing this project because it's meant to be like everything you need is here, so you do it and then you're done, and yay, you have finished something. But it's not necessarily the project itself that is appealing, it's the idea of completing it. So eventually when the thing gets there in itself, like when you get started on it and it's not fun, so you drop it and you never finish it anyway. Right now she's drawing Peter Rabbit and Beatrix Potter drawing. QVC influences for the pre-YouTube flock of shopaholics. It's a bit, we have similar TV shopping channel here too. Which are sweet, and she should give herself more credit for her skills because she can draw real animals insanely well, and her doodly drawings are super sweet. Quality volume crap. Oh my gosh. But the deals are outrageous. Oh, you should go see the QVC outlet. Oh no, there's an outlet. She spent so much money at QVC, we had a rep. Oh no, that's bad. If you call now, you can get this for just 99. Oh my god. But order 2 and it's only That's evil. That's actually evil. It's also for the kind of people who don't grasp that Black Friday TV models exist. They're cheap because they lack most of the feature due to Sumo TV. Yeah, like it's not an actual deal. It's just a cheaper item. I feel like the Black Friday demographic is one part people looking for a deal and one part people who are just poor. And they are sold on the idea that they can get the exact same quality item for a fraction of the price. So that they can, you know, make Christmas good for their family by getting them good things for cheaper. And it's... Ugh. It's perfect job for women whose kids have flown a nest, but the husband is still out working. Yeah, and it's like people, like the people on TV, they're talking to, like it's not a fiction, it's like a real thing. So it kind of feels a bit like human contact, maybe. And if it's not that, it's going to the stores because you can see people and talk with people. Oh yeah, they tell you if you buy this, you'll feel amazing. People will tell you you are gorgeous and you're freaking such a great deal. And then you tell people about your deal and they're like, what? Oh, cool. Yay, yeah. And what do you use that for exactly? Ah, I see, I see. Oh yes, all your friends will be so jealous you're on top of the world if you buy her products. I'd be like, Mom, if you didn't buy these 5 tat rings... What's a tat ring? Could have bought a really nice real ring. Or an overlooker. Overlocker. What's a tat ring? Oh, tatty. Cheap. Okay, okay, okay. Like costume jewelry. And some of them are pretty, but again, for the price, she could have gone to a jeweler. Yeah. And I mean, the beauty or the prettiness of the item is not exactly the point here. It's the quality versus the price, and the fact that ultimately, if it's not good quality, it's gonna break or it's gonna degrade, and then it's not gonna be worth anything, and it's gonna end up in a landfill. Struggle busing. What? Also, a deal isn't a deal if you don't freaking use it. Yeah. Oh my god, my package from Japan is in Dubai right now. Ah, that's one hell of world travel. Yeah, what the heck? I would agree, Jinja, except the guilt of having an actual dresser full of watercolor palettes. We all choose our demons. Dear Mama Snap, stop buying me on sale beginner's canvas. The 5/8 depth and so loose it's already falling off frame. They're widely discounted because these suck. Thank you for your consideration. Your package is gonna get a tan. Okay, that I will agree, but use them. You use your paints in general. Some people buy stuff they never use. I have gotten a lot better about replacing paints now. But occasionally I'll get the bug and a new palette is on. It's weird, isn't it? I don't know why our brains do that. This weird like obsession over a thing that is really not justified by anything. Magpie brain is real. Yep. Ooh, shiny. I've gotten better about watercolor. Acrylics, we don't need to talk about. I mean, at least you go through, like, someone will go through acrylics quicker than watercolor. But also, oftentimes, the packaging, the tubes tend to be bigger, so is it really a good trade-off? I'm fighting the urge to buy water-soluble oil paints right now. Where does that one come from? For me, the one that's bothering me right now is purchasing permanent rose from Winsor & Newton. I don't know why. But it's annoying, and it's pricey, and I don't really need it. But it you know, it keeps rolling on in the back of my mind, and I'm like, why? I do not get along with oils, so I have literally no reason other than they are shiny and new. Yeah, that's tricky. Do you have oil pastels? They might get the itch. Like if you work a bit with oil pastels and you're reminded of possibly how much you don't get along with it, that might help clear the weird urge. But at least I use them, or make great effort to use everything. Like I intend to use them, and I do, just not as fast as I'd like. Yeah, that's always the issue, right? I have one set of pastels, but less than 1 second, and they are everywhere. Are they oil pastel or dry pastel? The dry one, the powder, that's a nightmare. If I ever saw one. The oil ones are a bit less bad for that. But yeah, they're difficult. Yeah, they're so messy. They give me stress. They're stressing me out of them. Like you can get some really fun texture with them and all that, but like if there is one thing that I really like of watercolor is that once you're done painting, you don't have anything to do to really preserve your painting. It can be in a sketchbook, you can have 2 pages facing each other and it's gonna be fine. Nothing is gonna stick together, nothing is gonna seep through the paper over time, nothing is gonna melt, you know, it's pretty safe for that, whereas everything else I've seen, like acrylics might stick together, oil pastels or any kind of oil thing will take forever to dry, and then some of them, if you don't use the right paper, they will absorb through the paper. Pencils you have to fix, dry pastels you have to fix. Like it's difficult. They're really creamy textured, but I'm really good at making them. You want rainbow fingerprints on every surface of dolls. Oh, I know what you mean. I need gloves. But any kind of pastel, take out the gloves. Right, also oils take 6 to 12 months to cure. You can't varnish them basically forever. Like literally 5 every. And if you have pets, you know that during those 6 to 12 months, it's gonna get full of dust and pet hair. That's just, yeah, it's the same. I was looking at a lot of really pretty pencil, like color pencil art recently. And I was like, I want to take mine out and just do tests of like rendering and stuff. And then my brain got to the part of the process where you have to use fixatives. And that really took the fun out of it instantly. And I was like, that's true. No, you have to spray them. Yuck. Transfers. Even gouache. But at least gouache you can varnish with wax medium. That's fine. That's fine. Wax medium, I can, you know, I can work with that. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't smell. It's, you know, that's fine. But wax medium doesn't work on like color pencil. You have to spray it, and I hate using sprays. It's just a pain in the ass. And it's so wasteful. Ugh. Why do they have to make art supplies so pretty? I don't know. As I look over and Emmy is millimeters away from... No! No, Emmy! I hope the palette is closed. Oh no! I cannot even with gouache. Yeah, gouache is difficult to use. It's so packed with pigment to be opaque that it re-wets. You just look at it askance and it re-wets and it reactivates. And you're like, whoa, wait, hold on. And then, but I mean, it's really fun to use, but it's difficult to use, I find. It's more difficult to use. But yeah, I'm forever thankful for wax medium. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm done with my gouache. Let's take out the gloves and the wax medium. Also, sprays have temperature range requirements, so hope your place is... Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, you know that, Ginger, your Handsome paints minis, right? And you have to prime minis before painting them, usually. And most of the primers are spray primers. So over here, we have to be super mindful of the weather if some minis need to be primed, and like half of the year is no bueno for priming minis. It's just way too cold. It had puddles, it's open, and at least her hair is easy to... Okay, okay. Bears get stuck in my brush and suddenly there's 1, 2 inch hair. Ah, no! I find canvas building and priming very meditative. That's canvas, like you with the stretcher bars and the big stapler, right? Yep, spray outside so you don't make a mess, but then the temperature outside is below 0. Yeah, it's stuff like spray outside so you don't make a mess, and also make sure you have proper ventilation, and make sure blue, and you're like, yeah, but it's winter. You can get primer that are in, you know, like a bottle of primer, but it's not as even and smooth and easy a finish as the spray ones. I worked for a place that would write you up for being 1 minute late. They decided to make a poster using spray fixative and turn them into HR. Hold on, wait, what? A poster using spray fixative. Oh, that's awesome, Megan. What do you paint? Do you paint with acrylics on it? Or oils, I guess? Yeah, in high school we mainly painted with acrylics on canvas. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, I agree. And at least that dries fast and it's relatively easy to varnish. It's stressful, I find it stressful to varnish because you don't want dust or hair or whatever to get in there, but it's kind of quick. At least it, like, the paint dries quickly, the varnishing dries quickly. They were making like win this challenge by taking the most calls type of posters and did it at their desk in an open place. Why would they use spray fixative? What's wrong with them? Most of those sprays have additive to discourage huffing. It gets wild in enclosed space. I mean, why pay so much for spray fixative just to huff it? I'm pretty sure you can find cheaper alternatives for that purpose. I mean, aerosol sprays are super stressful, I find, like, because they describe like they have this process, like you have to shake it upside down at least 20 times and hear the rattling ball and blah 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 blah, and then you have to be like 47.5 centimeters away from the thing you want to spray, and you have to spray evenly in smooth motion. It's like a bajillion steps, and you try to follow them as much as possible. And then when you get to start spraying, it's like this uneven, blotchy spray because the stupid thing is a stupid thing. And like, so panic sets in, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to salvage it somehow. And nightmare. Whether it's a spray for like making shoes waterproof or a spray fixative or primer, I don't think I've ever had a good experience with aerosol spray. One sentence horror story is inspired by fume evoke artistic mediums. I mean, the solvents for oil painting, that's turpentine. Turpentine is trippy. Some really odd people took to ingesting turpentine for health benefits. Let's just say that it's kind of unproven. Yeah, let's just keep it at that. That's not. If you met anyone with huffing addictions, they're not very bright. Oh, turpentine sounds delightful. Yeah, that's. I know it's made from pine trees, but that doesn't mean it's good. That just kind of yeah, kind of unproven. And they would like it was such a weird I don't want to get into too many details because I don't want to like I went through the rabbit hole of woo-woo peddlers, so that's how I stumbled upon that, but I'm not particularly interested in ingesting weird substances. But yeah, they had to pour it on a sugar cube and then eat the sugar cube. And I was just like, how far away are you from like taking a spoon out and melting it? It's red flags. I thought terps evaporated super quickly, but hubs left brush to soak. In a jar on the cupboard I couldn't see on top of. For months we got buzzed cooking supper. Oh no! I'd be like, I can taste terps, and hubby was like, eh. The rabbit hole of woo-woo peddlers is fascinating, but also terrifying, but also fascinating. I think huffing fumes is the inspiration for the horror game layers. That's possible. I mean, the name would track with that, but I would hate having to do the thing to make the game happen. That's the thing that my mom never was really keen on mangoes, because she would always say that to her it would taste like turpentine. And part of me would always like, have you tasted turpentine? Like, should I be worried here? I grew up with woo-woo and it's hard to separate them. Yeah. Like, I really find it fascinating in the sense that, I don't know, I feel like everything related to how people perceive things and how it affects their behavior is really fascinating stuff. It's like the people who really vouch for black salve. This is not good. This is not good. Not good. Hey, Paulo! Background summer sound. You can hear the cicadas from here, or you also have background summer sounds. Peaches, mango, some melons have a other taste about them sometimes, and turpentine is a much better explanation. I can kind of see it with mango. I feel like the peel of mango has that really astringent taste. Sometimes, like if you accidentally bite into the peel of a mango, it's a really buzzy effect. But I've never had it with peaches and melons. Black salve is a paste made from a root of a plant that will, what's the word for it? It basically eats away at flesh. You're hearing my cicadas. I'm surprised we still have cicadas because Shiro likes to eat them. Which is the inspiration for this drawing, incidentally. I saw her eat a cicada this morning and I was like, oh. So yeah, black salve, it's made from a root, it's a paste. And I think the actual formulation, I don't remember the words for it, it's been a while. But yeah, like people will have a bump or a lump or a mole or something. And they put black salve on it. And it basically eats away at the skin and the flesh. And it won't really stop. But in their mind, their perception of it is that it's eating away the cancer or something like that. And as long as it's eating away at something, it means that it's still like a cancer or whatever. But it's just the nature of the substance to eat away at flesh. So people put it on their bumps and it makes craters in their body, you know. Some people have tried it on their face and don't Google that. Really not good. Yeah, it's really, really bad stuff, and it's illegal in many, many places. It's disfiguring. But some few people swear by it, and they see it as a natural remedy. It was an actual remedy for a very brief period of time. In like the not the real dark ages, but the dark ages of medicine. Like people would see like have a weird mole that is a skin cancer and put that on it to try to heal it, but they really figured out quickly that it was not the best. And like there were better ways to deal with that. It's an iscariot, I think. Is that the word? You know what? I believe that people believe this. I don't know what I was suffering from, but I ended up in a forum where people were rinsing their... Ooh, no. No. I didn't go back on the internet for the rest of it. Yeah, it's like that miracle mineral solution, which is gibberish to say injecting bleach in your body. Like people believe whatever, and then they make Facebook groups about it, and then they convince each other that this stuff is working when it's not. Otto, you've never been into the rabbit hole of fake medicine nonsense bullshit? My mind went confused because salve is near the Portuguese word for sage. No, salve is like a like it's meant to be a product that you put on your skin. Miracle, I think it's MMS. I think it's Miracle Mineral Solution. But at one point it was touted as being a way to cure autism. And it's basically injecting bleach or drinking a sort of bleach. And then, I mean, yeah, it's a trip and a half. People will mess up their bodies really bad, and things will happen. And instead of going to the most plausible explanation for how their body is struggling, they assume that it's the woo-woo stuff working. Like, oh, you drink bleach, so your GI tract is all messed up, but that's the bleach working. Ha ha ha. Like, oh my gosh, don't. Anything that has don't Google that as part of its explanation, you know is definitely a good time. Yeah, never Google black salve. Seriously, it's disgusting. It's body horror. Miracle Mineral Solution, I don't think you can find that many disgusting images because the product itself is clear like water, I think. But it's the way people used it that was just bonkers. It's the exact same energy than ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine for COVID. Like, unrelated, doesn't work for that at all. Nonsense. But people will believe in it. Some things work. I've got through jars of Tiger Balm like no one's business. But I know it won't cure anything. Yeah, but Tiger Balm, like, what's the main active ingredient in Tiger Balm? Is it like camphor? It's like menthol, like Vicks or whatever. Like, these things have an effect on the body, and that effect can be positive, but you won't cure stomach cancer by eating Tiger Balm. That's not what it does, you know. Oh my god, if you know so much. Yeah, I fell into the rabbit hole. Yeah, we're talking about woo-woo medicine, like fake medicine and nonsense. One is menthol and one is clove oil as mains. Yeah, menthol has that effect on the body, like this warming effect. So, for Tiger Balm is for sore muscles, isn't it? And that makes sense. Like, if it creates an effect where the product, like if it attracts more circulation and heats up that body part with the menthol, it's like it will do its thing. Like, if it didn't work, it wouldn't still be a thing, I feel like, because Tiger Balm is not new, but it's not the same as all this other nonsense stuff. Like, people on purpose eating bitter almonds because it has this vitamin in it that is, according to them, beneficial, but it's not, and also dangerous. Like, it's yeah, peach pits too, and it's like, dude, no. Just don't. In the same way that was it birch bark that had a component similar to aspirin in it, or vitamin C? You know, like, all current day medicine is not out of thin air. It's out of something. But there's a process involved and knowledge involved. You cannot just go like towards the thing and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing, like yeah, cyanide in the pits, all that stuff. Like, it's, guys, chill. It's not because it's natural that it's awesome. Well, it's awesome, but it's not necessarily good for you. Hubby has a traumatic experience with Tiger Balm. He had a migraine and I ran him a hot bath, and when he got out, slapped him in red Tiger Balm. It's soaked in all the way to his bones. Oh, ouch. I have a friend with a terrible experience with Tiger Balm. He was doing martial arts, and he used Tiger Balm, and then he had to use the bathroom. I'll leave it at that. Caffeine in general helps me during an asthma attack. If I have no inhaler, since it's a bronchodilator. I think that's partly why it also works for some people's migraine. But yeah, it's not the same through going like taking horse dewormer by the spoonful because someone convinced you it helps with COVID. There's absolutely no overlap. If you draw a Venn diagram of these two items, like COVID and horse dewormer, there's zero overlap. Actually, they're really far apart. So don't, just no. No, 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 no. Hey, a fire cloud coming in just at the end. I'm an enjoyer of MSM cream, kind of menthol topical pain reliever lotion. The science is a bit squiff, but it's good stuff. Exactly, and I genuinely think that is the magic of Tiger Balm. It distracts from the real pain long enough to get some relief. But like, menthol does things. But I wouldn't advise like figuring out how to make your own menthol and then dosing it yourself. You know, that everything, too much of anything is dangerous. We have a friend who was told to put numbing cream for something on their legs, and it represented so much surface area, so much contact area, that it made them sick. So, you know, even this thing that is regulated, the numbing cream, too much of it, like the skin absorbs it, so you end up with so much. I mean, if you want to have a good catalog of people going too far with things that are technically safe, you just have to watch Olive Chubby Emu's videos. He's a doctor and he makes videos about those weird. It's a bit like Dr. House without all the soap opera aspect of Dr. House, like really weird medical cases and how they were figured out and what happened. Stuff like a man ate a bajillion vitamin C caplets in a day, and this is what happened to his spleen. You know, that's. I've only just realized that peppermint candy has been my 5 senses calm down game for most of life. I can engage all the senses plus the joy of crunching them up in one little. So what side you have the look of them? So those are the red and white spinny ones, right? Hearing, that's the crunchy. Smell, well, taste. Thank you so much for being here, Ginger. I'm almost done anyway, so you're not gonna miss much. Oh, peeling the wrapper, huh? Smell the peppermint. Yeah, have a good trip, Ginger. Feel you get the cold breath thing. You just gotta be careful if you're with Otto. Aww. I eat a lot of peppermints. What's your favorite one? Never asked myself why. I was just, oh, what did you get for your birthday? Happy birthday, Paolo. Whee! I hope they got you a cake for once and didn't have you make your own cake. I miss eating mints. I miss mint and chalk ice cream. No! The blasphemy ice cream! No! No cake! What's up with that? There's been way too many people with birthdays and no cakes recently. I do not approve of this development. I was traveling from holidays, so at least I didn't have to make a cake. Okay. We could have bought one. I'm pretty sure you can find really good cakes in bakeries. I once had a peppermint lip balm. Yeah, it's really peppermint lip balm is really it's like needles a bit. It's not everyone's cup of tea. If I could get a veggie or vegan version, I'd be over the moon. But we have mints called Trebor mints. Those are perfect minus the gelatin. And in the States, pillow mints. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Those look so cool. They're so pretty. Got a cooking book from an English chef sign. Ooh. Oh, that's for you. That's a good gift. I didn't have a cake, but I did have a full-on afternoon tea set. I mean, weren't they? There were tiny cakes in there, weren't they? And she signed in gold. Wow. I'm so giddy with it. Do you know which recipe you will try doing from the book first? It's kind of funny that Trebor mints is basically just Robert Mintz, but reversed. The Bob Mints. I like the Bob Mints. She owns a 3 Michelin star restaurant, so I'll have to be very, very careful with what I try to make. Yeah, but I mean, it's a good way to learn new tricks, right? Ooh, food. I've been eating Trebor mints for 20 years, and it was only this year I realized it was Robert backwards. The Bob Mints. Can you have Mentos? Although there are other flavors of Mentos, can you have those? Like you have fruits, you have Fanta, I've seen grape. I've seen all sorts of weird Mentos flavors. No, only mint Mentos would do. Huh. I tried the other ones. Did you even try the Fanta ones? Mentos freshness. It's Mentos fresh and full of life. The Fresh Maker. I have some Mentos. There you go. Melon and Iberico ham macarons. That sounds extra fancy. Oh, melon though. Mentos. Menthe. Mint. They're not like mind-blowing in terms of ingredients, but they're really not the worst either. So they don't have high fructose corn syrup. They don't have palm oil in them. So yeah, that's not awful. Mentos fresh and full. The Fresh Maker. Alright. So I'm gonna... I love the mint with the crunchy outer and the inside is the perfect kind of chewiness. Chlorophyll is the best mint flavor. Yeah, that's right. We have chlorophyll flavor thing. I haven't seen that in a long time. But chlorophyll gum used to be a really, really popular thing. Chlorophyll. Gum. It was gum mostly. haven't seen that in forever. I'll have to look for it. Curious to see if it's still being made. No, a chlorophyll is what makes the plants green, I think. And it has a kind of a weird flavor. It's been so long. But when I was a kid, it was my mom's favorite flavor of gum, so that's what we would get. Like they would buy the Costco like boxes of packets of gums. No, yeah, that's chloroform. No, not the favorite tool of a murderer. I would take chloroform gum if it helped me sleep at night. You know, you have a chloroform mint and you're good for the night. Oh my gosh. Right next to the ether flavored gum. It's definitely easy to, I can see why you confuse the two. They're really similar. I don't want to take my exam chloroform and come to the rescue. Everybody's just passed out in a pile outside of the classroom. That's funny because we're talking about the woo-woo fake medicine stuff. I feel like chloroform gum is a fitting addition to a possible fake medicine cabinet. Hey, Hoods! Hello! Hoods Lizzie? Hello! I'm just about to end the stream though, so I'm doing good. How are you doing? Don't give them ideas. Yeah. What's next? Yeah, I usually start the stream about 2 hours and 12 minutes ago. So I don't know in what time zone you are, but yeah, and I end around 12 minutes ago. Is it a Mentos? Well, I can't really talk and have a Mentos in my face. But I can do it like Sorry. I was trying to make it interesting. Sorry. It's hard to find good mints. I'm so sorry you cannot have these, Otto. I will post on Discord my favorite gum of all times. It was really poorly named, which always made buying it extra fun. Wow. Alright, so I'm gonna chew on this Mentos, and I gotta say it's kind of nice for the sore throat of talking for 2 hours. It's a bit like a really, really fat, chewy Smarties. Well, or M&M. Have you tried the Fanta ones? We need to try the Fanta Mentos. Maybe you will like these. We don't get the Fanta ones. I don't have them anywhere like local, but I can find them on Amazon. They might be good. They also have like flavors like grape, strawberry, apple, all sorts of weird things. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for being here for the stream. I really appreciate the company. Got some good sketching done on these. And I'm struggling with my Mentos. So yeah, if weather allowing and everything allowing, I will be able to stream next weekend. Same time, same place. So that's 2 p.m. EST for me. And yeah, if anything, I will post on the Discord or anything. And thank you so much for being here again. I hope you have a great weekend and see you all in the next one. Bye bye.